Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including an attempted home burglary overnight in Ridgefield, a house fire in New Canaan, and much more. Frank Granito has your Nutmeg Sports Update and a look at the forecast, and Donald Eng will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, 2 men suspected of a carjacking in Connecticut were killed when the stolen car crashed into a synagogue following a police chase. The Associated Press reports that New Haven police say the 2 suspects claimed to have had a handgun and took the victim's 2005 Toyota Highlander around 12:15 a.m. Monday. The victim was not injured. A little more than an hour later, an officer spotted the stolen car, called for backup, and began pursuing the suspects. The stolen car then crashed into Congregation Beth El Kaiser Synagogue. The driver was identified as 23-year-old Tommy Brown of New Haven, and his passenger was 20-year-old Andrew Bolden Velez of West Haven. New Haven police say the investigation has been turned over to the Connecticut State Police and the state's attorney's office. And in other news, fireplace ashes are the likely cause of a blaze December 30th at a New Canaan home. At around 12:40 in the afternoon on December 30th, the New Canaan Fire Department was dispatched to 610 Cheese Spring Road. New Canaan police units were first on the scene and reported flames coming from the garage there. A second alarm was sounded when fire units from Wilton, Norwalk, Vista, and Pound Ridge fire departments responded to assist at the scene. The New Canaan Advertiser reports that water supply was taken from a new dry fire hydrant that had been installed this past summer in the pond at 571 Cheese Spring Road. That fire was brought under control within 20 minutes, with units remaining on scene for overhaul. Those last units left at around 3 in the afternoon, but there were no reported injuries. The homeowners were there at the time of the fire and quickly exited the home with their 2 children and dog. That fire appears to have been caused by the disposal of fireplace ashes in trash cans outside of the garage. The main body of the home was undamaged, as the garage was separated by a small enclosed breezeway. And state police identified the victim in a fatal accident on Interstate 95 in Westport early Saturday. Hearst, Connecticut media reports that 32-year-old Mohammed Bahaga of Bronx, New York, died after he was ejected from the back seat of a Chevrolet Astro van involved in the crash, according to state police. 2 other Bronx residents in the same car survived the crash with minor injuries and were treated at Norwalk Hospital. The driver of the second vehicle, a Volkswagen Jetta, 34-year-old Jacques Buchanan of Yonkers, New York, was unhurt. The crash involving 2 vehicles happened near exit 18 in Westport around 5:15 in the morning. And Shelton police say a former high school student hacked the school's computer system. The juvenile was arrested and charged with third-degree computer crimes on December 29th. That arrest stems from an incident where the Shelton school internet system was being disabled citywide during the months of November and December 2015, as well as March and April of 2016. An investigation launched by Shelton police revealed that the juvenile was using a cell phone application to launch distributed denial of service attacks, or DDoS attacks, on a daily basis against the school's internet service. According to police, DDoS attacks send information rapidly to a server using its IP address, overwhelming the server. The end result is a loss of connection to the internet. The school's internet has since been fully restored, and defense software has been installed to deter any future attacks. And Ridgefield police are investigating a pair of attempted home burglaries that happened on George Washington Highway and Cross Hill Road around 2 p.m. Monday, January 2nd. Police Captain Jeff Kreitz said detectives are looking for a male suspect in his 50s who threw a rock through a rear glass sliding door of a George Washington Highway home around 2:15. The female homeowner confronted the suspect, who then left the scene. Captain Kreitz said that this was the second incident involving that suspect Monday afternoon. The first took place at Cross Hill Road around 2. A resident reported that an individual matching that previous description was walking around the exterior of the home. The male left the area when he was confronted by the homeowner. In a separate incident, Ridgefield police are also looking for a missing Porsche that was stolen from a Haviland Road driveway on Monday. Captain Jeff Kreitz said that the car, a black Porsche Cayenne, was unlocked with the keys inside. According to a report, it was stolen overnight. Anyone with information on any of those incidents is encouraged to contact Ridgefield Police at 203-438-6531. And more than $1,000 in Avita hair care products was stolen from CVS Pharmacy in Darien on December 19th. Employees noticed the theft shortly before closing that day and reported the incident to police the following morning. Surveillance footage from the store showed a black male and a light-skinned female enter the store at about 5:50 in the evening on December 19th and empty more than 40 items from the store shelves. Together, they placed the items inside of the man's clothing and left just 4 minutes later. CVS employees were able to provide a full list of the missing merchandise, which was valued at over $1,000. Police are still investigating the crime based on that surveillance footage. And in other news, the brand new New Canaan Post Office at 1826 Locust Avenue has opened for business as it begins the weeks-long transition from temporary office it has operated for over a year at 90 Main Street. Both will be open for the immediate future until the new building is ready to take over all operations. That new post office has one window open for customers sending packages, buying stamps. The advertiser got a look on Friday, December 30th, and was told that there will be about a month-long transition period before an official opening takes place in January or early February. But let's throw it over now to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And it doesn't look like we're in any danger of another drought here in 2017, so we are off to a wet start with plenty of rain throughout Fairfield County this morning. Mild and breezy outside with a light drizzle early on today, but we can expect a high of 43 degrees and periods of heavier rainfall coming this afternoon. A light rain will carry on through this evening, but we should see those showers die down before what will be a foggy night heading into Wednesday morning. And again, we will see warm temperatures tomorrow, breezy as well, mostly sunny skies, and those temperatures will reach up into the low 50s. Winds are expected to pick up tomorrow afternoon as temperatures will start to drop down below freezing overnight as we head towards a very cold first weekend this year. Chilly on Thursday with temperatures in the low to mid 30s, partly sunny skies and windy during the afternoon. Gusts between 15 to 18 miles per hour. Cloudy overnight, and there is a chance for some flurries late before Friday morning, which could be filled with some periods of snow as well. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Eng takes a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news, including the discussions of a drug rehab facility in a Ridgefield neighborhood. More on that after this.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well.
1, 2, 3, Abby! You know! I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on! I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Bring it back.
Manfredi New Canaan is a dream come true for locals Kim and Roberto. Their Elm Street store features Rolex, Hermes, and design jewelry collections from everyday classic gold to diamond jewelry. Manfredi offers a range of services from simple jewelry and watch repair to elegant jewelry design. Let Manfredi New Canaan help you find the perfect gift to celebrate important life moments. Visit us at 72 Elm Street, New Canaan, or online at manfredijewels.com.
At In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign up now for In Sports fall and winter lacrosse clinics and leagues. With programs ranging from first grade all the way through high school, there's something for every lacrosse player at all levels. Programs include college coaches clinics, youth box winter leagues, high school winter leagues, and 7-on-7 tournaments. For more information and pricing, visit us at insportscenters.com. Like us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Denise Figuergoli, host of The Drive, here every Tuesday on the HN Network. It's about how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit that creates the life you live, with people, places, ideas, and organizations that move us forward mindfully and consciously. Tune into The Drive here on the HN Network, Tuesdays at 12:30.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We're back on this January 3rd edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Lang for our first look back on this day in history of 2017. Don.
Well, thanks, Kate. And we have kind of an underrated, sort of under-the-radar turning point in American history today, and it happened in 1777. George Washington defeats the British at the Battle of Princeton. Now, the Battle of Trenton is more well-known, but it was the Battle of Princeton 8 days later that secured New Jersey for the Americans. After the loss at Trenton, Cornwallis planned to trap Washington between the British cannons and the Delaware River. Instead of retreating back toward Philadelphia, though, Washington advanced his army deeper into New Jersey, routed the rear of the British army, then escaped before Cornwallis could get his 8,000 men turned around. The twin defeats led to the British abandoning New Jersey for the rest of the war. To 1924, the sarcophagus of King Tutankhamun is opened after a 4-year excavation of the tomb. King Tut is probably the best known of the Egyptian pharaohs because his tomb was relatively intact, having not been ransacked by tomb raiders in the preceding 3,000 years or so. The sarcophagus contained 3 coffins nestled within each other, the final one made out of solid gold and containing Tutankhamun's remains. Now keep in mind, King Tut was a relatively minor king. He died in his mid-teens. We can only imagine the riches buried with someone like Ramesses during the 3,000-year Egyptian dynastic period. 1938, the March of Dimes established by President Franklin D. Roosevelt as the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, which was an anti-polio organization. With the widespread use of the polio vaccine, the organization expanded to include efforts to prevent infant mortality, birth defects, and other health issues affecting infants and mothers. Finally, now we go to a frigid Western New York for this.
Bills can win it here. Wright puts it down. The kick is on the way, and it is good. And the Bills have won it. The Bills have won it. The Bills have won it. They win it 41-38. Incredible. What a comeback by the Bills.
Look at the fans pouring onto the field and the mob scene of Steve Christie.
Of course, was the comeback. The Buffalo Bills overcome a 32-point second-half deficit to win the game in overtime, 41-38, the largest comeback in NFL history. By 1993, the Bills had lost consecutive Super Bowls, and the game was not televised in the area because it was not sold out, as disillusioned Bills fans stayed home. About 75,000 fans were in attendance at Rich Stadium that day. Bills coach Marv Levy likes to say he has met about 400,000 of them that were in the stadium on that day. That is a look back in history for today, January 3rd, and I'm Donald Lang.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, back to local news today. While the Ridgefield Planning and Zoning Commission prepares for tonight's public hearing, the applicant Mountainside and members of the Ridgefield Neighborhood Preservation Alliance await their turn to talk about the proposed drug rehabilitation facility on Old West Mountain Road. Matthew Eakin, Mountainside Executive Vice President, told the Ridgefield Press December 27th that the facility would seek professionals over the age of 40 and it would be capped to 17 beds. 2 major points of contention from the neighbors opposing the project, who believe the facility will cater to drug-addicted youth and serve as many as 46 clients. Eakin said that these clients seek nothing but privacy and discretion and other facility or forsake treatment if their confidentiality could not be assured. Eakin said the project's top priority is seclusion and that Mountainside would not alter the footprint of the home, the historic Sunset Hill mansion, which is currently on the market for $4.75 million. He stressed that clients would first be treated at Mountainside's Cannon Detox Center and then. However, Jerry Lewis, a Neighborhood Alliance's spokesperson, said that granting a special permit for a for-profit enterprise such as Mountainside is too large a price to pay for a facility that would benefit only the very elite. There is a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. But let's throw it back over to Frank Granito for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And as we look back over the holiday break throughout the FCX sports schedule, we'll start with boys basketball, where the Wilton Warriors are off to their best start in almost a decade now, improving to 4-0 and winners of the 2016 Holiday Classic Championship after they knocked off the Staples Wreckers 81-62. On Thursday last week. Wilton is one of 5 remaining undefeated FCX schools, along with Trinity Catholic, Fairfield Ward, Brian McMahon, and the Trumbull Eagles. In girls basketball, it is Stanford, Staples, and Trumbull who all remain perfect over the break and lead the West Division. On the other side of the bracket in the East Division, St. Joseph's sits in first place by themselves. They have a record of 5-1. In girls hockey, New Canaan, Greenwich, and Darien are tied for first place with 4 points each in the FCX as play has started in conference. Not far behind them with an overall record of 3-1 and 2 points in the conference is the Fairfield Co-op team. Congratulations to the Ward and Ludlow girls for their great start. And don't forget that the HAN Network will be live tonight at West Hill High School as we get our first look at the defending 2-time FCX basketball champion West Hill Vikings when they will host the Bridgeport Central Hilltoppers. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock and coverage will go live on the HAN Network at 6:50 p.m. And of course, we've got Nutmeg Sports this afternoon. Myself with Donald Ang will get you caught up on all of the sports and where they stand as we head into the new calendar year. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, according to Governor Daniel Malloy's office, the time a customer spent waiting at the Norwalk DMV office declined to 41 minutes in November, compared to 1 hour and 16 minutes a year earlier. The 46% drop in waiting time was on par with an overall reduction of wait times of 51% across the state's 12 Department of Motor Vehicle offices. The office showing the greatest reduction in wait times, however, was Waterbury, which went from 1 hour and 16 minutes to 30 minutes. The decrease in Danbury was more modest, from 51 minutes to 44 minutes, but customers in Bridgeport and Norwich offices, however, still face a wait time of more than an hour. And Stratford has a new economic development director, one who's already familiar with the town's business community. The Stratford Star reports that Mary Dean, executive director of the Stratford Chamber of Commerce, will succeed Karen Kaiser as the town's economic development director. Dean will take over in this new year. Kaiser announced her departure earlier last month to take a development position at Fairfield University. Mayor John Harkins said in a statement last Thursday that he's looking forward to keeping the momentum going with regard to growing the town's grand list of taxable property, as well as with ongoing projects such as brownfield remediation and the redevelopment of the Stratford Army Engine Plant. And the Darien Library will hold a class on Wednesday, January 4th at 7 p.m. for discerning real news from fake news. Every day, Darien librarians say they receive questions about whether a certain website can be trusted, whether a news story is factual or not, and how to determine if something is a credible piece of information. They say this upcoming class will help people discern what's real and what's not from information experts. To register for that event, you can call 203-655-1234. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top local stories we're following today after this.
My company developed Tranquility Mind and Body Wellness Spa 13 years ago. The building had 2 huge Olympic-sized pools in it, Builders would come, take a look to develop, and no one really knew what to do with it. Milford Bank saw our vision and they jumped right in. They were the bank that we needed to come behind this hometown project. My name is Tina DeNaples and I choose to bank with Milford Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
Are you ready for winter? Ski and Sport has everything you need to be fully outfitted for the season. A family-owned and operated business with over 40 years of experience, Ski and Sport's 3 convenient locations in Fairfield County offer top-quality, high-fashion ski and winter wear. In addition to clothing for men, women, and children, we also offer seasonal rentals for the entire family. Stop by our stores on 1 Ethan Allen Highway in Richfield, 877 Post Road East in Westport, and at 110 Main Street in New Canaan, or visit us at skiandsport.net.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today, including that 2 men suspected of a carjacking in New Haven were killed when the stolen car crashed into a synagogue following a police chase. The Associated Press reports that New Haven police say the 2 suspects claimed to have had a gun and took the victim's 2005 Toyota Highlander around 12:15 in the morning on Monday. The victim was not injured. A little more than an hour later, an officer spotted the stolen car, called for backup, and began pursuing the suspects. That stolen car crashed into the Congregation Beth El Kiezer Synagogue. The driver was identified as 23-year-old Tommy Brown of New Haven, and his passenger was 20-year-old Andrew Bolden Velez of West Haven. New Haven police say the investigation has been turned over to the Connecticut State Police and the state's attorney's office. And fireplace ashes are the likely cause of a blaze December 30th at a New Canaan home. At around 12:40 in the afternoon, the New Canaan Fire Department was dispatched to 610 Cheese Spring Road. New Canaan police units were the first on the scene and reported seeing flames coming from the garage. A second alarm was sounded and fire units were called in from Wilton, Norwalk, Vista, and Pound Ridge to assist. Water supply was taken from a new dry fire hydrant that had been installed in this past summer at 571 Cheese Spring Road. That fire was brought under control within 20 minutes, with units staying on scene later in the afternoon for overhaul. The homeowners were home at the time of the fire and quickly exited the home with their 2 children and dog. All were safe. Officials say the fire appears to have been caused by disposal of fireplace ashes in trash cans outside of the garage. More on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And state police identified the victim in a fatal accident on Interstate 95 in Westport early Saturday. Hearst Connecticut Media reports that 32-year-old Mohammed Bahaga of Bronx, New York, died after he was ejected from the back seat of a Chevrolet Astro van involved in the crash. 2 other Bronx residents in the same car survived the crash with minor injuries and were treated at Norwalk Hospital. The driver of the second vehicle, a Volkswagen Jetta, 34-year-old Jax Buchanan of Yonkers, New York, was unhurt. The crash involving the 2 vehicles happened near exit 18 in Westport around 5:15 in the morning. And Shelton police say a former high school student hacked the school's computer system. The juvenile was arrested and charged with third-degree computer crimes on December 29th, and the arrest stems from an incident where the Shelton school system's internet service was being disabled citywide during the months of November and December of 2015, as well as March and April of 2016. An investigation launched by Shelton Police revealed the juvenile was using a cell phone application to launch distributed denial of service attacks, or DDoS attacks, on a daily basis against the school's internet service. According to police, DDoS attacks send information rapidly to a server using its IP address and overwhelming the server. The end result is loss of connection to the internet. The school's internet has since been fully restored, and defense software has been installed to deter any future attacks. And Ridgefield police are investigating a pair of attempted home burglaries that happened on George Washington Highway and Cross Hill Road around 2 in the afternoon on Monday. Police Captain Jeff Kreitz said detectives are looking for a male suspect in his 50s who threw a rock through a rear glass sliding door of a George Washington Highway home around 2:15. The female homeowner confronted the suspect, who then left the scene. Captain Kreitz said that it was the second incident involving that suspect Monday afternoon. The first took place at a Cross Hill Road home around 2. A resident reported that an individual matching the previous suspect's description was walking around the exterior of his home. The male left the area when he was confronted by that homeowner. In a separate incident, Ridgefield police are also looking for a missing Porsche that was stolen from a Haviland Road driveway on Monday. Captain Jeff Kreitz said that the car, a black Porsche Cayenne, was unlocked with the keys inside. According to the report, it was stolen overnight. They're asking anyone with information on those incidents to contact them at 203-438-6531. And for Weston residents looking to dispose of their Christmas trees, Emmanuel Episcopal Church is holding a Christmas tree bonfire this Saturday, January 7th at 6 p.m. at 285 Lions Plain Road in Weston. This will be Emmanuel's 12th annual Epiphany bonfire, which has become an annual non-denominational gathering of the Weston community. For a donation of $25, residents can bring their tree to the church until 5 p.m. on Saturday for the 6 p.m. bonfire. For a donation of $35, church volunteers with trucks will collect trees from Weston households and bring them to the field north of the church for the bonfire. You can get more on that at thewestonforum.com. Let's throw it over to Frank Gradito for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, wet outside today, mild and breezy this morning. There was a light drizzle in the county. We can expect a high of 43 today and heavier rain showers on and off throughout this afternoon. A light rain into the evening, but then it will be very foggy overnight heading into Wednesday morning. Warm and breezy again tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies and temperatures up into the low 50s. Winds are expected to pick up later in the afternoon, as we will see that number drop down into the 20s overnight as we head towards a cold start to the 2017 year. Chilly Thursday morning, temperatures in the low 30s, partly sunny skies and windy during the day with gusts between 15 to 18 miles per hour. Cloudy overnight, and there is a chance for some snowfall late Thursday night and early on Friday morning. That's it again for the weather. Back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, it's still going to be a busy day here on the HAN Network. The Drive with Denise live in studio at 12:30. Check it out. 2 p.m. Nutmeg Sports, and of course 7 o'clock live boys basketball on the HAN Network. We're going to wrap things up here, but we'll see you for your coffee break tomorrow at 11. Have a great day.